Let's see. Hello. How's everyone? Give me just a minute. How's everybody this evening? Share this out. We're talking about credit tonight. Talking about credit. I'm trying to invite someone in. I probably should have did that. Got that together first, right? Sarah, I'm trying to get you in here. And my kids always tell me that Facebook is, they just so wrong. They tell me Facebook is for old people. They said, we don't even use Facebook no more, Mom. Let's see. Oh, cancel. Da, 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 da. Well, guys, let me just finish getting set up here and we'll be ready. Hey, Mary Jackson. Sarah, see if you could get in here. This is horrible. Well, y'all, first I want to welcome y'all to day 2. This is day 2 of Clubhouse, Shenango Valley Clubhouse of Ownership. It's an exclusive club, home ownership is. It is a great place to be. It's amazing to own your own home. I'm telling you. I honestly didn't know the benefits of it until, I bought my first property, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm trying to invite, worst case, I can comment, no worries. I was trying to invite Sarah Cipriano into my live today. I'm not even sure if we can still do it, but here we are. And we want to talk about credit and the requirements of what you have to do, your credit has to look like in order to buy your property, buy a home. So Sarah, you go ahead and whip out some stuff. And hi, Kim. How's everybody? Welcome. I'm Fontanese Green. I don't even think I introduced myself. You know this is real. This is real life right here. Fontanese Green. I'm a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, the preferred realty. My home base is in Newcastle. And I love real estate. I think it is one of the best way to obtain wealth. One of the best ways. Let me see. We're trying to figure this out, y'all. I mean, because she's... No, it doesn't say that. So let's talk. What type of questions do you guys have about credit. What do you think is one of the biggest hangups? No credit, um, maybe um, repossessions, any judgments? Like, throw some stuff out there. Let's talk about this. No, Crystal, I don't see anything. Isn't this horrible? Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Stream setup. No, it's not giving me anything. I really wanted her to be in here tonight. Um, I'm sorry, this is weird, y'all. It's threw me off. It threw me off. I'm just OCD like that. Like, it's just bothering me. So, so, credit. Credit is one of the major problems why many people haven't purchased a home. I'll be honest with you. Um, it's a hang up. It definitely gets in the way. You could have great money coming in, you have a great job, um, but it's that credit piece that a lot of people get hung up on. Um, and that's the problem. Um, so, again, do you guys have any questions to start that you would like to know? Um, let's talk about the different types of loans. How about that? So, there are several different loans that you can get when you're buying a property. And there's a conventional, there is FHA. No, there's conventional, FHA. And then what, Crystal? USDA. There is PFHA. And there's many of those loans you could qualify for. It just depends on where you want. Oh, and VA loans. Do you know that many veterans don't even use their stipends to buy a home? So there's VA loans. And I know that no, sorry, y'all. Mm-mm. Y'all, she's like the one who has all the answers. She's got all the answers. Audio call, video chat. No, that ain't it. I'm calling her on Messenger. That ain't gonna work. Old people. No, it's not working, Crystal Blue. Sarah? Hey, now I don't know if they can see you. Can you guys hear Sarah? Let's do that. Because I don't think they can hear you. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. She's gonna call me on the phone and we'll put her on speaker. And that way y'all can hear. because I really want you guys to get this information. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry about this. Can you hear me, Mary? Okay, lady.
All right, we've got this.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, can you hear Sarah? Give me a...
Hello, hello. And to answer your question, Crystal, you can use the VA loan more than once. Sometimes you can actually use two at the same, depending on whatever your eligibility is. But generally, you can use VA more than one time. We actually have a lot of repeat VA buyers.
That's awesome. So will they have to pay off their property that they say if they wanted to buy another house, would they have to pay off that one or within the sale?
In most cases, they do. I have seen in some cases, it's very rare where you can use it twice. But in most cases, then yes, they do.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. So go ahead, Sarah. Talk to the people about credit. In your experience, because you've been doing loans for a while now, and I mean, I might add, you do great. She just won an award. Like she's she's real fancy. Let me say that.
We have a few paperweights, that's for sure. But, honestly, it just comes down to, and I've been really lucky to have great mentors who've been doing this a really long time. But a lot of times it's just, thinking outside of the box. There's always a way. And the thing that bothers me the most, and I get a lot of these phone calls that people say, I can't get approved, and, they just said, work on your credit. But honestly, what does that even mean? We don't know. We, as a typical consumer, you don't know what that means. So right. Unless you have somebody helping you with that, which is what we do at Waterstone, you're not going to know. So there's always a way. There's always a way to get things done, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but the way that I look at it is as long as you have a plan, then that's great. At least you know what you're aiming for, and you know what you have to do, so you're not just shooting blind. So that's the big thing.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I know you've been very successful with many of my clients, is that you're able to help people, rebuild where they need to in order to buy. A lot of lenders don't have that.
Right. And, and I came from, a big bank that was wonderful for a lot of different things, but I ultimately chose to come to where I'm at now because they literally just follow the guidelines. There's not a whole lot of, red tape. There's not extra things and hoops that clients have to jump through. So it's just that piece of it. And then, if you have a low score, we offer credit repair. So there's different things and different ways that you can fix your score, and not have to be declined. Or, there's so many people I talk to who say they get turned down and they just get told no, or they really just don't even get called back. And so it can be a little bit defeating, but the big thing is that there's always a way. There's always a way to get it done. Even if you've had a bankruptcy, you can have a bankruptcy and buy a home in 2 years. A lot of people think that the myth is that you have to wait 7 to 10 years. You have to wait for it to call off your credit, and that's just not true. You could have a repo. You could have a foreclosure. There's so many different things that can happen that really the waiting time is minimal compared to what the myth is. So it's just a matter of finding the right person to let you know the facts on it, so that way you can plan accordingly, really.
Absolutely. And that's amazing. That's amazing because I've seen so many, buyers who become frustrated at the thought of, trying to get their credit in order and, not really having, I'm just, the right lender that's able to, kind of guide them. I mean, because a lot of first time home buyers, they need guidance. They don't understand the process, of what's needed even for their credit.
Right. And I hear that all the time. I hear from people that say, well, I just switched my job. Here's another one, especially with COVID. COVID lately has had a lot of turmoil and changing in jobs and different things like that. And it honestly, I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, but as long as you're not off for 6 to 12 months at a time and never had worked before, it doesn't matter. There's always a way to get that figured out. Sometimes you have to explain why you're off, and well, COVID's a pretty good reason, right? So, those things are pretty easy to get around, but that's the other thing I've heard is, I called so-and-so and they said I have to be back to work for 6 months. That's just not true unless you haven't worked for years. Now, that's a different story, but if it's just something where you've had like a minor disruption in a job, it's totally fine. There's usually ways to work around that.
Awesome. And so even if they like transfer jobs, but in the same field, that doesn't hurt them either.
Not at all. Okay. I mean, I've had people transfer jobs. They've been waitresses, right? And then they're like, well, this isn't going to work because, our restaurants are shut down. So then they end up going to a factory, or they end up going to a mill or doing retail, or, just something different. And it's totally fine as long as there's not a 6-month lapse in job time. And if there is a 6-month lapse, then depending on the loan, then you just have to plan accordingly for it, have a good reason, and you have to be back to work for usually 30 days. But it's, you're not going to close your loan within 30 days anyhow unless you're working.
Right.
So,
right. Wow.
Yeah.
So tell the people, like, how, okay, so if their credit is like not so great, what are some of the things that they could possibly do to be able to, work to get qualified?
Right. So I'll start first because this is something that people do because it's almost instant gratification. If you see something on your credit and you're like, oh, I don't really like that. That looks bad. If you dispute it, it will instantly remove it from your credit for a period typically of 30 days. That's going to make your score jump up. But once you call a lender and you start going through the financing process, they have to remove all of the disputes. So you're basically back at square one.
Oh, wow.
The big thing is with credit is that you don't want to utilize all of it. So just for easy numbers, say you have a credit card and the limit is $1,000. You want to try to keep it at least, I'd say, $300 or less on a monthly basis. There's some people who say if you pay it off all the way to zero, it will affect your credit negatively, and I've seen that happen. Not so much that it's negative, but it doesn't score your credit the same as if you were to leave $20 on it. We've actually quick scored clients and I've had to call them and say, hey, go charge $20 on your credit card, and it's going to increase your score by, however many points, because then the credit bureau knows, okay, not only are they using the card, they're paying it on time, they're utilizing it, it's not just sitting there at zero. So that's one thing when you're trying to build credit. You want to actively have balances, but you don't want them to get out of hand. So that's a huge thing. Other than that, I mean, if you have a repo, if you have different things like that haven't been charged off, you want to try to get on some form of a payment plan. It doesn't have to be huge, right? So if you had a car that was repoed and the balance was $7,000, they're going to be happy to get $50 a month from you. And that might be make or break your loan. So there's a lot of times we have people do that, just for the sake of it, because otherwise we have to show that you're paying a lot more on a loan that you're really not even paying. So it's just better to do that. It shows good faith to them. And sometimes it can score differently that way too. So there's really a lot of different ways to get things done and to get it through. And it's just a matter of having credit, so don't close everything out, and just using it appropriately. And if you don't have credit, there's prepaid cards that are wonderful, that you can start up, and you don't have to load them with, thousands of dollars.
Right.
A lot of times we'll tell people just to load them with maybe $300 and spend $20 and use it for a few months, and it increases their score. So those are prepaid because you're basically using your own money, and then they'll report to the credit bureau. I know Capital One has one that's very popular, and Credit One's another one that does also. So we utilize that all the time, just to help people out, and then it's building their credit too, while teaching them the responsibility of, okay, I have the option to use this, I'm going to pay it down, and I'm going to get a credit score out of this because I'm paying a bill on time. And it's not much liability for the company because you loaded it with your own funds.
Right,
so,
right. I mean, that's a game changer. Like, I really hope you guys are hearing this. Like, it is definitely possible, for you guys to, be in the exclusive Clubhouse of Home Ownership. Like, it's definitely possible, with the right people in your corner, helping you guys on how to figure that out. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comment section, so we can get them answered for you guys. So what are your questions?
I'm going to put 2 in the comments because I get this question a lot with people who get declined for credit cards. I get these a lot. So I'll put a link for Capital One, and I'll put one in for Credit One. You can go to anyone. You just want to make sure that they report to your credit. If you're trying to build credit, that's something that you want to do. But okay. I'll put a couple links in there in case anyone's interested in looking at those, because that'll help too. And here's another thing. We live in an area that we're very fortunate that, the housing is affordable, for one. And secondly, if you're not living in Sharon, Farrell, Hermitage, or parts of Sharpsville, we have USDA, which is huge around here, which is no down payment. So there's always ways that either Fontanese or myself can help with eliminating thousands of dollars in closing costs. Plus we have PHFA, which is an awesome program too. Right. So I get that a lot too. That's, I don't have $10,000 to close, and, I don't have, tons and tons of money in the bank, but you don't have to, right? You literally don't have to. There's programs, there's grants, there's different things that you can apply for that they're not going to break your bank. So
absolutely. And I mean, and that's also a game changer too, because a lot of times, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, like people, like sometimes they, have the credit, but don't necessarily have all the funds to close, because sometimes those closing costs will scare the heck out of you if you're looking at that bottom line, but so it definitely, benefits, again, for people to know Sarah Cipriano, someone who knows how to maneuver around, not maneuver as to, get away, but who knows the packages and the different types of loans to help the client. It's almost like tailor-made for clients.
Well, and that's huge. Like what you just said is literally so huge, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard sweet Aunt Betty's brother's sister's neighbor who didn't pay this or didn't pay that. But what you have to remember is that everything is tailor-made. Even last year at this time, interest rates were a percentage higher, if not 1.5%. Right. So, taxes go up every single year. There's so many different things that go into it, but there's also so many programs that evolve with the times also to help with that type of thing. So there's a lot of times, and that's one thing I love about this job, is that sometimes, you do get thrown thrown a hard case or two, and
right.
you really have to think about it. But that's what's fun about it. And then talking to somebody who was told that they can't do it, hearing that they can,
right.
Like that's literally the best thing in the entire world, because people work hard, and that's having a home and not renting is huge. It's a huge milestone in anybody's life, and to be told that you can't do that, to me, is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just honestly, it's absolutely crazy, because there's always a way to figure something out. There always is a way.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this job so rewarding for me. I know. I had one client who, like, this young lady was literally paying like $700 a month, in rent. And I mean, Sarah, it was a mutual client of ours, and, got her pre-approved and found her a home for her and her children. I mean, and now her mortgage wasn't even $500. You know what I mean? So that's the beauty of helping people get to where they want to be in their journey of home ownership.
Right. And that's just it too. I mean, you can, with the way that the cost of rent is right now, you can essentially buy a house and pay less than you are in rent, or pretty close to it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have something to show for all of that money that you're putting out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and it's yours. It's a place that you could call home. You could paint the walls if you want to.
Right. That's just it. I mean, there's nothing about it at the end of the day. And listen, I'm not a girl who likes to paint. I used to, and I like to until I get about one wall done. And then I'm like, why did I want to do this? Yep. But there's something about sitting down at the end of the day knowing you worked hard on something that you worked hard for. Yep. And it sounds so basic, but it's just one of those things that I tell people this all the time. If you were ever told no, or you'll never buy a house, or, there's some families who that they're born to rent, mm-hmm. and they've always done that. And it's mm-hmm. not because they couldn't, it's because they don't want the responsibility, or right. for whatever reason. But you can break that mold. You can go out, you can get a loan, you can achieve whatever dream you want to do, especially when it comes to buying a house. It just takes the right team of people to do it. It takes the right advice, and sometimes it takes you listening. So,
right.
But we can tell you all the good advice in the world, but if you got to want it too. So it seems like, and lately I just keep hearing more and more about folks who are really sick of just paying rent. Mm-hmm. They're sick of paying $800 a month, $700 a month, when you can live and buy a house 3 doors down, and your payment can be between $400 and $550.
That's crazy.
Right.
I mean, it just blows my mind, and again, it's your home. It's something to help you and your family build wealth, within your family. So why not?
Yep, absolutely.
My gosh. Well, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments, or tag people. Make sure you tag people who want to buy a home, or who have maybe having some problems with their credit, and send it to them in their messenger if you don't want to put it in the comments. But Sarah, do you have anything else that you want to share as far as credit?
The big thing is, if you're in what I would say now, especially with the way that the housing market is, there's a shortage of houses. So if you're driving down the road, or if you see something, or if you hear, oh, this house is coming up for sale, the big thing that you want to do is, if you're even considering looking at buying a house, you need to have your credit looked at now. You need to start planning for it now, because houses are going on the market, and they're going right off the market in a matter of sometimes hours. It's just yep. the craziest thing during a pandemic. Yep. You wouldn't think this is happening. But the big thing is to start laying the groundwork. Once we look at your credit, at least for Waterstone, once we look at your credit, it's good for 4 months. So basically, if you get pre-approved in January, you're good until May. That's a huge chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're considering buying, if you're looking at, wanting to go down that road, you're thinking about, well, not right now, but maybe in the spring, you're not real sure how your credit is, have it looked at now, because the last thing you want to do is get into a situation where you just love a house and then you need credit repair, and it might take a month or two.
Right.
So that's the big thing that I would try to focus on now, if it's something that you're looking at. And you can always message me with questions. I work all the time, like Fontanese.
All the time.
So
yeah.
Although Fontanese, I have to laugh because I don't leave my house very often. So I did do my hair today. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm so mad we couldn't get you on the video. Oh my gosh. We'll do Zoom next time for sure and share it over.
Well, you'll be in charge of that technology, because as much as I want to rag on you about it, I'm not any better.
So. Oh my gosh. Like, this has been so dope. Like, I really hope that someone has been able to grab a hold of this. And look, guys, if you want more information about your credit, and if you want to purchase a home, and if you're looking, like, contact Sarah. You could find her on Facebook. Afterwards, maybe we can put her card up, or her contact or something. Just contact her on Facebook, message it.
Yeah, I can do it. I'll put my card out there too, so they have it.
I mean, Sarah is an amazing lender. She handles a lot of my clients. I probably get on her nerves a little bit, but
never.
But we work well together. And okay, they're asking how they get in touch with you, Sarah. So
I will post a picture of my business card in the comments, and then that way you can email. I love to say that I'm so awesome at social media, but I'll be honest, sometimes I just am not. I try. I do try.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to know about loans, I can help you all day long, but I will put this in the comments. I'll put my card. Okay. It has my cell phone number on there too. You can always text me. You can email me, whatever works for you.
Great. So guys, she's gonna put her card on there. So please reach out to her. She is amazing. Sarah, thank you so much. You always come through for me.
Hey, anytime. You're welcome. And I'll put that in the comments. If anyone has any questions, just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am, so much.
All right.
Bye. Talk to you soon. Well, guys, if you have any more questions, please put them in the comment section. I'll make sure that Sarah gets them and that we can answer them for you. Y'all, buying a house is attainable. It is definitely possible. If it's one of your goals for 2021, reach out to me. I'm here to help. I work with some fantastic people who we get the job done. So feel free, contact me on Facebook. My number is 724-734-1720. Call me, text me. And Sarah's going to put her card up there as well. So again, if y'all have any more questions, put them in the comment section and we'll be sure to get them answered. But don't let this year go by with you have been wanting to buy a home, and don't let fear grip you. The Lord is not giving you a spirit of fear. So don't allow it to grab a hold of you and keep you from your dreams. I'm telling you, fear is a distraction. So especially to get wealth, like He wants you to be wealthy. The Lord does. So y'all, this has been great. Like, we're going to be back here tomorrow, dropping more information about the home buying process. So you don't want to miss it. We're going to give you, I think it's 3 more days of great information. So, hey, I appreciate y'all for listening. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.